We're going to get into all of that on the show. We're going to be talking about how's it going to work out. There's a brand new bid in as well today, confirmed exclusively by Ben Jacobs from Newcastle United in for
Wissam.
So that could be condition number one met when it comes to this situation. We're going to be looking at the statements. I've got some interesting takes from Simon Jordan on this as well that I want to play for the group because he has basically gone in on Isak and Liverpool here. As well. We've seen a lot of attacks on Liverpool. I mean, even True Geordie just yesterday talking about Jota and I don't know if you guys have seen that clip. I mean, just absolutely. He basically said that if you look how upset Salah was after Jota's passing, that shows how much teammates should mean to you. But there we've got Isak who's just like leaving his teammates behind. And you're sort of like, wow, what a thing to bring up. Like Newcastle fans have been losing their mind. It's been a crazy one. It's
very different. It's very different. And I think he lost his mind a little bit on the saga through Geordie. And listen, I've been watching his videos lately because I want to see Newcastle's point of view. But there is point of view and there is losing your mind, asking for someone's career to be ended. Like, I think if he looks back at this, he will think, listen, at the end, it's a job. The guy's looking out for himself, Isak. Newcastle are looking out for themselves as well. But you don't have to wish him ending the career because you don't like what he's doing. That is unfair. And comparing someone passing to someone is throwing a tantrum because there's a fight. I think he is so upset that he's now speaking whatever is in his mind, and it's actually someone need to tell him, broski.
Yeah, I agree. I think what's happened with a lot of Newcastle fans, and we've got some really good Newcastle fans that have joined the Football Terrace this summer that I think have done a fantastic job of breaking it down. But I think they have listened to. I mean, I saw Luke Edwards today, and as a journalist, like I don't disrespect him, but some of the things he was writing today, he keeps quoting, "I told you guys back in March this would happen." Yet when you read the tweet and you read the article, so much of what he said in the article that wouldn't happen. The player wouldn't push for a move. If anyone, it was basically like Newcastle were above bids of 80 to 90 million. You watch. And then he's quote tweeting now saying, "See, I told you." But the bid was 110. Like there's so many. And I think this has got into the heads of the Newcastle fans all the way back in May. Terry, why even talk about it? The player's not going to push for a move. We're not going to entertain selling on any level. They're now saying, the same journalists, we told you they weren't selling on any level. Whilst the club is still saying if the conditions are met, we might do it. No wonder their fans are angry. They are not getting a clear, concise and consistent message from people they trust and respect. Of course, it's also stressful losing a player. And I don't necessarily think everything Isak's done has been right. I don't think everything Newcastle has done has been right. I also like I don't mind also Newcastle digging their heels in. I don't mind Newcastle pulling promises away. I think because players take promises away. I'm all for it because I'm not I don't want to be a hypocrite. And if Belieber forces a move to Man United in the same way, I don't care. Equally, if we tell Rasmus you're going to get a chance this year, and by the end of pre-season we go, we've changed our minds, as long as we improve as a team, I don't care if we make him stand. So I'm consistent with my own club. But look, we'll start on that story because it's absolutely massive. Where's your head at with this, Hussam, in relation to the statement? We'll start with the statement from Isak. Do you think Isak did the right thing by releasing that statement last night?
Yes, I think Isak done the right thing because I think we had this debate actually on this show last week about who's the villain in this situation. Was it Isak? Was it Newcastle United? And I think now Isak essentially exonerated himself. Like he just completely showed the whole world, like, yo, this ain't my fault. Like you promised me something you didn't deliver. And on top of all this, look, we were told by Arsenal fans the difference with Jokers is there was a gentleman's agreement. Well, it seems like there was an agreement between Isak and the club, and then they stabbed him in the back and then didn't go with their word. And I think he values like trust. He values, you know, the personal relationship he has with Newcastle, and that was broken. It's in his own words, trust was broken. And if you feel like you're just the trust is broken between you and the club, you want to move on. And I'm saying this just because I'm the same guy as well that didn't say anything bad about Jokeris. I was literally the same exact guy that sat here. I understand why Jokeris is doing this. He had a gentleman's agreement. There's videos of me defending Jokeris' stance. I'm very consistent with my energy. I say the same thing to every player, whether it's not my club or my club or whatever. I'm also the same Liverpool fan that did not disrespect Trent. I'm not Tom Little. You get me?
I'm sorry. What promise are you talking about here? Because
the contract promise.
Oh, okay, so I just want to make sure that it wasn't
the contract promise.
That you don't think that he was promised.
That's what Craig Hope said, right? The contract
okay.
promise.
Okay, so he was never promised a move, right?
No, I know, but I'm talking about the contract promise.
There is a echo coming from somebody. One of you have the speaker, like not you, Terry, probably. You have the speaker a little bit high, so it's echoing in the mic. So it's the contract thing.
Now should be gone. Yeah, I'm talking about the contract promise. Yeah.
Okay, just to keep going then.
Yeah, but that's because of. But here's the thing: you understand?
Right.
That's broken trust between him and the club. That's broken trust. If you win Newcastle their first trophy in 70 years, and you have a conversation with the club, but then the trust is broken, I think that's something.
Okay,
that's
so basically, I think the problem now is Liverpool fans like Hussam, like the others, are exaggerating, analyzing the Isak statement. Newcastle made a mistake, and I'm going to stand firm on this. Newcastle as an institute, it doesn't matter if you change your sporting director. When a promise is made to a player, a promise is made to a player. It doesn't matter if it's Amanda Stevely, it doesn't matter if it's Terry Flores, it doesn't matter if Hussam from Jordan. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? An institute made a promise to a player, you need to actually deliver that promise. The problem that what Hussam doesn't see, and some of the Liverpool fans don't see, is that there was a change in the sporting director. So the new sporting director had different ideas. However, based on the information we have been informed by everyone, Newcastle tried to rectify that mistake by offering him another contract. But I don't think that not giving you the contract, but giving you the contract later, because he was promised the contract last summer, and giving you the contract mid-season doesn't justify you going on a strike, especially if the club clearly in their statement. By the way, Isak has not denied that Newcastle didn't promise him a move, and Newcastle haven't denied that they broke their promises about the contract. They haven't. All they did is they denied that they made a promise for him to go. Newcastle were clear in this.
Now he say, she say situation.
No. There is, by the way, there is no he say, she say. None of them actually denied each other's statement. He never said that I was promised a move, and they never said we actually promised him a move, or we actually there is no contract. They said there was.
Okay, but the last paragraph.
I didn't interrupt you.
The last paragraph of the statement.
I didn't interrupt you.
Where they say you
I tell the story. I need the story.
If the right conditions are met.
Yeah, I need the story. Now comes to the right conditions. I need to tell you the story. I think the timeline. Isak told them that listen, I want to leave. I want to go. Maybe in the mid-season. Even though David Ornstein has informed everyone that Isak was happy, and Isak himself did an interview. I think what they said is that, as we're all being informed, as Arsenal were informed, as Liverpool were informed, there are certain conditions to be met. I do think Isak should be accountable for Newcastle incompetence in finding a replacement. However, Liverpool did not offer the money that is clearly in the condition. I know that Hussam shared the Craig Hope and said that the money is not a problem, but Liverpool low bid. If Liverpool offered that closer to the 150 and it got rejected, Isak can come out and said, you said the price is 150. They offered 140. Why don't you accept that? Liverpool offered 110 based on the reports. I think Liverpool tried their best to get him cheap. I think currently Isak put himself in a situation, and Newcastle cannot sell him for less than 140. If Newcastle sell Isak now for less than 140, 150, they look like mugs. They look weak. I think that is gonna now start Bruno Guimaraes saying next summer, I want to leave for 80 million. I'm not showing up to training. Tonali leave him. Everyone, they will look weak. And he's the one who did this, because he said that the promise about the contract is different than you being promised to leave the club. And trust or not trust, what are you talking about? Players get offered contract and they get the contracts later. There is Saliba. There's a lot. There is a lot of people. You don't see Vinny Jr. because he was promised a contract. Real Madrid said, no, we're offering you that money. You signed the contract for 5 years. It's either you fulfill this or you meet the conditions. It is on him and Liverpool now to come up with a bid that is satisfying for Newcastle. It is not on Newcastle to budge and accept Liverpool low ball bid. If Liverpool, by the way, I'm going to say this, and it's a lot. If Liverpool don't bid the money that Newcastle want, 140, 150, something reasonable, I think Liverpool let Isak down, in my opinion. They let him down if they walk away from the deal and they only offer 120 and Newcastle don't accept. That is on Liverpool now. Newcastle and Isak, both both give the ball in Liverpool's court now. It's you. Bid. Give us the money, and then we'll sell him. That's the conditions, basically, because they're signing
I
Wissa
have a
now.
little bit of a conspiracy. I think we're being played
Ooh.
by both sides. I'll be honest with you.
But both
I
sides being
There's three sides here. There are
no,
three
both sides. Both sides being who?
Newcastle, yeah, Newcastle. I'll tell you why I feel like we're being played a little bit here. I think after the Monday night game, after Liverpool playing Newcastle, I think a day after we'll make a massive bid and Isak will just join Liverpool.
Can you define a massive bid?
130.
Plus or 130 total?
I think it'll be 130.
If Newcastle do that, they will look, in my eyes, that's footy judge Mo, by the way, that's not Sam's opinion. In my eyes, they will look weak. They can't actually handle their players.
Let me because 130 is...
Hang on. Sorry. Why would they look weak? Why would they look weak?
Because they said the price. We have been informed by all the journalists, the price is 150, right?
Yeah.
You selling for 130 after all of this, okay?
Did Liverpool look weak selling Diaz for 65?
Yeah, this is where I think you're wrong, Mo, right? On that point, right? This is why I think you're wrong. And this is also why I know neither party specified about what these so-called promises were. And we could all sort of create rumors and speculation. And I do believe there is one or a handful of promises they made to Isak that haven't been delivered. Equally, like, because I don't think they've even deliberately, sometimes in life, you don't deliberately not deliver a promise. Sometimes it's incompetence, sometimes it's a mistake, sometimes, for instance, you think you're going to land some players and it doesn't quite come off. But the reason why I don't think the reason why it's plausible that they have moved the goalposts and that's upset Isak, these are conditions of your sale, the goalposts are being moved. We've seen Sporting move the goalposts on Gyökeres this summer. Šeško's goalpost got moved. Even Wissa that Newcastle were trying to sign, they started off with an asking price and have continued as more and more. And it's fair. And this is what I mean by it's fair that Newcastle do this.
It just got rejected, by the way. Ornstein just tweeted it.
I just come. We'll come back to that in just a second, right? So we can break it to the audience. But the thing is that they keep increasing their valuation of the player. Why? Because every time that Newcastle have missed out, it means strikers become a more finite commodity because there's less of them available. So circumstances change. And I want to just give you a few things that the so-called Newcastle press have said. Back in May, they said that the club valued the player at 200 million. Then they said 100 million. They told us consistently that it was not for sale. Then they said sale under conditions. When they were looking at Ekitike Newcastle, every single one of their outlets produced stories saying that no, the club would like them both. They're going to play a 4-4-2, and they see them both working together. Now, after the statement, the same media are saying that Newcastle have always felt that if Liverpool hadn't taken Ekitike away, they would have engaged in a conversation and let them have Alexander Isak. So my point here is, as much as everybody's sitting there and going, Liverpool should have just bid the money and Isak shouldn't have listened to a promise, we have seen a consistent change in the narrative from Newcastle and the Newcastle press all summer. And I'm not saying they're wrong for doing it. What I am going to say is I'm just not going to sit here and pretend like a player won't get frustrated if even half of that is true. If you've set a high, if you keep changing the standard or how much you want for a player, if you keep saying 1 minute it's not for sale, the next minute it's under conditions. If 1 minute you're saying to Liverpool, you can have Ekitike, we're not selling Isak. The next minute he's sitting there at home going, hang on a minute, what do you mean? What do you mean? If they'd have bought him, you'd have let it happen. That isn't what you said at the time. I think there's definite changing of direction here from Newcastle United, which, by the way, is their prerogative. They're allowed to do it. I'm not claiming this isn't 1939. I'm not asking for these things to be banned. What I'm stating is that every action creates an equal or greater reaction. And I think that is what we have witnessed here in this circumstance. And I don't think there's any completely innocent party, the same as I don't think anybody is, quote unquote, guilty of really bad behavior. On that break.